Okay, now that I've validated my email address, I'm just going to log into Proxiechat. After logging in, it automatically takes me directly to my public timeline. This is going to be where everyone is going to be communicating. Right now, there's a ton of posts in here from a lot of different people. New posts will be coming in depending on how far out your proximity is set. I'm going to go over to my proximity button. Currently, my proximity is set to unlimited, which means I'm going to be receiving posts from everywhere and from everyone. So I have the ability to throttle this down to say I only want to receive posts from people that are within 1 mile of me. So if I was at a concert or if I was at some type of a convention and I wanted to communicate with people that were currently at that same location, I could just toggle this down and then I would only be seeing posts from people that are having the same social experience that I'm having. So then if I go back over to timeline, it'll automatically filter out the people that weren't at that location. So at this point, I can see the different users, and if I click on one of the users, I can see how long ago a post was made and how far away from me they currently were. So here's, point 0.3. So I also have the ability to reply to a specific message. So if somebody says something that I think is interesting, I can reply back to it. So I'm just going to click on the reply button, and I have the ability to publish a reply. So the new replies always go up to the top. So if somebody were looking at this and they see a message saying that sounds fun, they may wonder what sounds fun. If they click on it, they can view the thread. So when you view the thread, it'll automatically organize all the communication, oldest being on the bottom, newest being on the top. So they can read through the entire conversation. So if I wanted to put out a brand new post, I'm just going to click on the tag button. Tagging is a term that's borrowed from the graffiti artists when they want to mark a specific location with a specific message. They will often use spray paint and tag that location. We're doing the same thing except for we're doing it digitally. So when I click on that tag button, I'm going to be leaving a new message, but I'm leaving it at a specific longitude and latitude so that way people that are in that same area will be able to read it. So then again, after publishing, it just goes up to the top. So the timeline will constantly be flowing with new messages. Now, if you wanted to communicate with someone and you didn't want to do it in a way that everyone could see, you could send a direct message. So for example, if I wanted to send a direct message to Bob, I could go over to Messages and I could create a brand new message that would be sent to Bob. Now right here, I would have to type in Bob. Now to get the keyboard to go away, I just need to click anywhere in the background. So I just sent a message to Bob. So now that ends up in Bob's inbox. So it's something separate from email. It's a messaging system that's specific to Proxiechat. Now, if you don't want to type in everyone's name, if there's specific people that you communicate with often, you can actually add them to a contact list. Over here we have different lists. I can ignore specific users, so if someone's bothering me and I just don't ever want to see any of their messages again, I can ignore them. I also have a contact list that it's going to be people that I'm going to communicate with often. I can also create filtered lists. I'll save that for another video. With my contacts, I can come into here and I can add people into my contacts list. So I could come over and I could type in Bob and I could add Bob to my contact list. If I knew somebody's email address and maybe didn't know their handle, I could search by email address and then add them in that way. The other way that you can add people into your contact list is from your public timeline. So if there's a specific person that I'm often communicating with, maybe I'll just go to the Add To. And then I have the ability to add them to my contact list. So now if I wanted to send a direct message to Phone Lover, I could come over here and go New, and then right in my To button, I could just select Phone Lover, and then I could just generate a message. The other thing is, if someone really does bother me, I can just swipe and I can say ignore tagger, and then I just don't see them. Now, if something is being posted that's completely inappropriate or threatening or offensive, you have the ability to report that post. So if I click on the report, I have the ability to report this individual is breaking the terms of use. By reporting that individual, eventually the posts will be removed and that user's account will be suspended. You do want to be careful because if you make false reports and if they appeal it, then your account could be suspended. So you don't want to make false reports, but you do want to report things that are just completely inappropriate. Now, if for some reason I decide that I want to stop ignoring a specific user, underneath my ignored tagger, I could come into here and I could stop ignoring it. And same with contacts. If someone I no longer want to have as a contact, I can just remove that individual as a contact. I can always add them back later. So this is just a quick overview of how to use Proxiechat. I'm going to create another video that goes more deeper into the filtered lists. I hope this helps.